Digital clones. You've been hearing about them in science fiction for years, for decades. Now they finally exist. But what is the status of a true interactive video digital clone today? And by today, I mean August 30th, 2024. Hi, I'm TJ Walker, and I have a clone. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to walk you through it, let you see the features. And you can see if you want to create your own clone, but you'll at least know by the end of this video exactly what clones can do in the current state of technology as it is on publicly available platforms. So everything I'm showing you isn't because I am a computer science genius. I'm simply using a consumer-based platform called Delphi.ai. So let's specify first what we're talking about. We're not talking about just a chatbot. Those have been around for a long time. I'm not talking about cloning your voice, although that's a part of it. That's been around for a while. And I'm not talking about simply creating a video clone that you then have to type up a speech and it follows what you say. I'm talking about something that can be truly be interactive, like you're talking to a real person on a Zoom call, where a user can talk to the clone, get personalized feedback, answers to questions. And it's not just like a video where you're watching someone push out something and non-interactive. So it's truly interactive. That's what's exciting about it. So let's hop right in. I'm going to show you the inside of my own clone and what it actually does. So again, I'm using the platform Delphi.ai. I'm going to bring it up. We're going to take a look at it, test it out, try it on for size, and we'll figure out what we like, what we don't like. It is getting better every single day. It's quite exciting. So here's my clone. And I've got 5 different versions of my clone. This is my communication skills coach. There's a video option, call option, and message option. Let's start with the simple stuff of just texting it a simple message. That's probably something you've done on a website like Expedia and places like that. So we're just going to ask it a simple question. And you wouldn't expect this to be that hard. Nope, that's not the part I meant to dictate. Hey, TJ, disregard the previous sentence. Now tell me what I need to do to be a more confident public speaker. Let's see what it does for that and how relatively quick it does something like that. Oh, I forgot to hit the up arrow, so it wasn't processing. So it takes a few seconds. It's now pulling from everything I've ever written. You see books of mine in the background. It is pulling from a digital brain that's been built based on all of my online courses, all of my videos from YouTube channels, podcast appearances. So it's only pulling from my ideas. It's not pulling from ChatGPT or the internet or Wikipedia. So I asked it that simple question, and it's now giving me pretty coherent answers. If I wanted to, it actually show the citations from my books or my YouTube videos, but I didn't want it to look like a scholarly paper. So I opt not to have the citations showing. But it's giving me very straightforward advice, typical advice that I actually give to people in the real world when they come to me for public speaking advice. And it ends with, remember that public speaking is a skill that improves with practice. The most important thing is to keep practicing and refining your skills. And then it's asking me to practice. Okay, so that's relatively easy. Let's try another version of that. I'm actually going to ask it the question again, how to be more comfortable and confident when speaking, but I'm going to increase the degree of difficulty. This time, I'm now typing in the same question, but in the Chinese language. This in Mandarin, I believe. I have just cut and paste that. I had used Google Translate before. Let's see what it says, because I personally don't speak Chinese or really any other language. And here it is, what is spitting out what appears to be perfect Chinese. Now, I'm going to bring on someone who is an expert on Chinese in just a moment, and we're going to test the audio portion of that. But that is the way of texting this. And you can text it on WhatsApp. You can text it on a cell phone number. I happen to be in the website that is hosted on Delphi, but I also have it at tjwalker.ai. So that's an example of how you can use a digital clone so that people can text or write or dictate a question to you. But let's go up a degree of difficulty because that's frankly not that exciting. Let's try actually calling. Let's call my clone and ask it a question and see how it does. So we're going to call the clone right now, see if it can answer my questions.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. I'm here to be your life coach. Where would you like to see improvements in your life today?
Hi, TJ. I'd like to be even more confident when I am making YouTube videos and promoting my new digital clone. What tips can you give me on conveying confidence anytime I'm promoting a new product?
When it comes to conveying confidence in your YouTube videos, especially when promoting your new digital clone, there are a few key strategies you can implement. First, preparation is crucial. Know your product inside and out. The more knowledgeable you are, the more naturally confident you'll appear. Next, focus on your delivery. Speak clearly.
Now, I'm clearly biased, but I got to tell you, that sounds pretty good. That kind of sounds like what I would say. And to my own ear, that sounds like me. Now, I've trained the digital clone using audio samples of my own voice. And this is technology that has gotten dramatically, dramatically better in not just the last few years, but even in the last few weeks. So it's getting better and better. I'm still old enough to remember the days of going through the airport in Atlanta and the transit system saying, "And now get your bags." And it sounded like a 1960s science fiction robot. Those days are long gone. So the audio is so much better. But let's see how it does in other languages. Let's try something else a little different. Now, apologies, I'm going to attempt to do this now in a different language. And I'll tell you, it should be obvious to you shortly, but I am not skilled in a lot of different languages. So I am going to bring up a different language. We're going to test it and see how it does. So I have 5 different clones, 5 different versions of my clone. One for helping people with job interviews, one for communication skills, one for life coaching, one specific to media training, and one specific to support information, sales, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go into the communications coach. We're going to try the audio version. So we're going to call one here in just a minute. But, rather than do it in English, let's try a different language. And I know just a few words of Spanish. So let's try and see if the TJ clone can be more helpful than the real life TJ. Because the real life TJ is an ugly, stupid American who only speaks one language, English. But there are a lot of people in the world who speak Spanish. Let's see how it does.
Hola, soy el clon de TJ. ¿Cómo puedo ayudarte a comunicarte de manera más efectiva?
Hola, señor TJ. Mi problema es no tengo confidencia. ¿Por qué?
Entiendo tu preocupación. La falta de competencia puede deberse a varios factores. A menudo se trata de la falta de práctica y exposición. Para mejorar, te recomiendo grabarte en video mientras hablas sobre un tema que te apasione. Luego, revisa el video y toma nota de lo que te gusta y lo que no. Repite este proceso hasta que te sientas más seguro y satisfecho con tu desempeño. ¿Qué tema te gustaría abordar primero en tus videos?
So I have no idea what it said, but it sounded pretty good to me. And when I have shown this to native Spanish speakers, they said, okay, maybe it's a little fast, but it was pretty good. and certainly better than my broken Spanish and what I would do if I were trying to do it on my own. But let's go a little deeper and try something even more challenging, at least to sort of, let's say, a typical American ear and American tongue. We're going to go into the life skills version here. And we're going to try another language that's typically harder for Americans. I'm going to bring in an expert in a moment. I'm going to ask her to pull up next to me, and we're going to test this clone in Chinese and specifically Mandarin. I'm going to go to the life skills coach now, and we're going to ask this question in Chinese and see how it does. So I'm going to my instance. I'm going to hit the call button. I'm not going to make a call yet, but I'm going to change the setting at the top right from Spanish to Chinese. And we are going to bring up my colleague, who also happens to be my wife, and we're very happy she's here. Joanne, and you're cut off a little bit. Slide over there. Joanne is a native Chinese speaker, so she's going to interview my clone and ask it a few questions. So let's go ahead and get it going.
Hi，我是 TJ 的克隆 T， 我在这里成为你的生活教练。你今天希望在哪些方面看到生活的改善？
Hi TJ Clone， 我叫 Joanne， 我想问一个问题我是一个睡眠并不是挺好的人，我怎么提高我的睡眠的质量？
John， 提高睡眠质量是一个非常重要的目标。你可以从几个方面入手。首先，确保你的卧室环境关于睡眠，保持房间凉爽，理想温度在18至摄氏度之间。其次，建立一个固定的睡眠时间表，每天在同一时间上床和起床，即使在周末也要保持一致。此外，睡前1小时避免使用电子设备，因为蓝光会影响你的褪黑激素分泌。你可以尝试一些放松技巧，比如渐进型肌肉放松或深呼吸练习。这些方法可以帮助你的身体和大脑进入睡眠状态。饮食方面，避免在睡前摄入咖啡因和酒精，选择一些轻便的晚餐，比如全谷无面包加杏仁酱，这样可以帮助稳定你的血糖水平，避免夜间醒来。最后，考虑使用白噪音剂或水眠眼罩，这些工具可以帮助你屏蔽外界干扰，创造一个更安静的睡眠环境。你觉得这些建议对你有帮助吗？
谢谢你的建议。
或者你有其他具体的睡眠问题需要解决？
谢谢，你的建议挺好。还有另外一个问题，我想问一下你关于那个演讲的时候，如果我是挺紧张，我把我的演讲的台词那个内容都忘掉了，我怎么可以克服我的紧张的心理呢？
John， 紧张是演讲中非常常见的现象。首先，记住你并不孤单，很多人，包括一些非常成功的演讲者，都经历过类似的紧张情绪。关键是要找到合你的方法来克服这种紧张。一个有效的方法是通过视频联系，录制你的演讲，然后观看录。
Okay, we'll stop it there. Now, Joanne, you've been very forthright with me in the past when we've tried this as recently as a week ago, and you said it sounded awful gibberish. How did that sound to you? Was it making sense?
It makes pretty sense, but still kind of like American Chinese speaker.
American style, but compared to what I could do on my own, did it say things that were understandable? Did it give you answers that made sense at some level?
It makes pretty sense. Yeah, but still kind of like, it's not 100%. I can think about that, probably 80%.
80%.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, 1 being awful embarrassment, you're giving it an 8. Okay. Yeah. I would say at this point, I'm extremely, extremely pleased with that, because left to my own devices, trying to speak really in any other foreign language, that would be extremely difficult. So thanks so much for that.
All right.
Very much appreciated. Now let's get to where it is even more exciting, in my view, which is the video. How does it really come across when you're talking to your clone and it's talking back to you and you see it? By the way, that the foreign language thing has made so much progress in literally just the last week. And again, I'm coming to you, I'm making this live August 30th, 2024. By the time you see it, it may be that every platform in the world has perfect instantaneous translation. But as of this date, it's still very rough on most applications and websites I visit. So let's get to the next level. We're going to go back into our instances. I'm going to go into my clone that relates to communication skills. And now we're going to go to what I personally consider the holy grail of cloning, the thing that really matters to people because it most simulates a live conversation with a human being. Something, maybe you're not in the same room, but it's very similar to an actual Zoom call with someone, a consultant, a trainer, expert, therapist, anything like that. Let's try out the actual video call and see how it does.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you communicate more effectively?
Hi, TJ. Thanks so much for taking the call, even though I know you're not a real person. Tell me, in a nutshell, your philosophy of what it takes to be a truly great public speaker and communicator.
Great public speaking and communication boil down to a few key principles. First, it's about clarity. You need to convey your message in a way that's easy to understand. Second, it's about connection. Engage with your audience on a personal level, making them feel involved and valued. Third, practice is crucial. Rehearse on video until you love every aspect of your delivery. Finally, confidence is key. Believe in your message and yourself. What specific aspect of public speaking do you find most challenging?
Well, sometimes I'm not sure if I'm dressed appropriately for the audience. What do you think of how I'm dressed today if I were going to give a PowerPoint presentation in front of a major technical company or a high-tech company? What do you think?
Your attire looks professional and well suited for a presentation at a major tech company. The dark blazer over a light colored shirt strikes a good balance between formality and approachability. The blue accent lights in your background add a modern touch, which aligns well with the tech industry vibe. How do you feel about your presentation?
Okay, so
are there
please note, everyone, my clone is actually seeing me and telling me what it thinks of what I'm wearing. So that's the interactive part that is so exciting to me, because people think of a clone as just going to give you a set speech and a set spiel that's generated by some script. No, this is real time. The clone is analyzing exactly what I'm wearing. Let's see if it can do other things. So TJ clone, back to you. Sometimes I get nervous. I'm not quite sure what to do with my hands when I'm giving a presentation or I'm in a meeting on Zoom. What do you see me doing or holding with my hands? And is this a good idea when I'm in a meeting and presenting?
When you're in a meeting and presenting, it's crucial to use your hands effectively to enhance your message. Holding a pen can be a good idea as it gives your hands something to do, preventing nervous fidgeting. However, make sure your gestures are purposeful and natural. Use open gestures to emphasize key points and avoid crossing your arms or putting your hands in your pockets.
See, so
as these can make
to me, that's fascinating. My clone can actually tell that I'm holding a hand. The other thing I do sometimes, TJ, when I get nervous is, without realizing it, I am scratching a part of my body during a presentation. Can you tell what I'm touching right now? And does this make me look confident, or does this make me look uncomfortable and nervous?
One effective strategy is to practice your touching your face near your nose. This can make you appear nervous or unsure. Instead, try to
Okay.
keep your hands
So
free and use.
you can see right away that my clone is in effect seeing me. So it's therefore able to give me feedback on exactly, I'm going to hit stop a minute, otherwise it will interrupt me. It can give me feedback in real time, just as if I were talking to a real expert on Zoom. So this is the part I think people don't understand yet, that it's advanced that quickly. So what have we seen so far? It can answer a text question with a text answer. It can answer a call with audio back. But here's the real magic. When it can talk to you as if you were talking to a real expert, just like you're on a Zoom call, and be completely responsive to me, that to me is extraordinarily powerful, because that's valuable. People pay a lot of money, certainly for my expertise, whether it's in person or through Zoom, or whether they are talking to a psychiatrist or getting advanced advice from top level consultants. People are used to paying a lot of money because they're getting personalized one-on-one interaction and expertise. And that's why this is so exciting. Let's try something else now. By the way, my clone will give me an instant replay and share if I want. I won't do that right now, but let's say I did get a coaching session and I wanted to consult it and watch it again. It's all right there for me. So let's do another simulation here and see what it can do. Let's test it. Let's take it out for another test drive and see if it can even, well, that's not what I wanted to do yet. We're going to go back and we are going to sort of restart and hit the video again. And we will see exactly what it can do. And if it can do more than what it did before, which was just answer questions.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you communicate more effectively?
TJ, I have to go. We're going to make this a big screen here. Let's just go ahead and go full screen. So TJ, I have to go on CNBC tomorrow. They're doing a big piece on the rise of digital clones. So I want advice from you on the best messages. Again, it's a business audience, a worldwide business audience. I want advice from you on messages I can use for my interview on CNBC, and also great sound bites that I can use. So when other journalists or editors at CNBC are trying to take pieces of it for other stories elsewhere, they find it irresistible. So first of all, give me your suggestion on great message points to get people excited about my digital video clone in particular, and in general, the industry, the whole sector of video interactive clones.
The sector of video interactive clones is truly groundbreaking. Imagine having a digital version of yourself that can interact with clients, answer questions, and provide guidance just like you would in person. This technology leverages artificial intelligence to create a seamless, engaging experience. For your CNBC interview, emphasize how this innovation can revolutionize customer service, training, and personal development. Highlight the efficiency and scalability it offers, allowing businesses to reach a global audience without the constraints of time and geography. What specific aspects of your digital clone do you think will resonate most
So
with
that
your
was pretty
audience?
good, TJ, but give me specific sound bites. Those are some good messages. Give me some great sound bites. Give me a dozen sound bites using your method for soundbite creation that I could use for this interview.
All right, let's craft some compelling sound bites for your CNBC interview. Remember, each soundbite should be concise, memorable, and packed with impact. Here are a few examples. 1. Digital clones are revolutionizing customer service by providing 24/7 personalized interactions. 2. Imagine having a digital version of yourself that can handle client queries instantly and accurately. 3. This technology is a game changer for global businesses, breaking down time and geographical barriers. 4. Video interactive clones are the future of scalable, efficient
Okay, that's
communication.
pretty
5.
good, TJ. Hold that thought for 1 second. So now let's see if my clone can actually rehearse with me. It's one thing to give good answers. You can get good answers on Wikipedia and Google. But doing a simulation, a mock interview, is a little different. Let's see if it can do that. So, TJ, let's switch gears now. Let's actually do an interview. You are a CNBC host, you're a business TV network host. I am now your guest. I've come on to talk about digital clones, and I want you to be tough with me. I want you to be devil's advocate. I want you to ask questions like, why would anyone want this? And doesn't this freak people out or scare people? So let's hop right in. Don't analyze my answers now. Let's just do an interview. Ask questions. Let me answer it the best I can, and then we'll analyze it together later. So let's hop right in now into the mock interview. Go ahead and start interviewing me.
All right, let's dive into this mock interview. Welcome to the show. Today, we're discussing digital clones. Let's start with a tough one. Why would anyone want a digital clone? Isn't it just a gimmick? All right, let's get into it. Welcome to the show. Today, we're diving into
Okay, a little bit of a
world
glitch there.
digital.
You repeated yourself, which you've not done much lately, but it does still happen. But I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. The reason someone would want a digital clone is to scale one-on-one style conversations so that you can speak to potentially 8 billion people in the world at once. You can speak to anyone, anywhere, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in any language, and you don't have to be there. So it can save time, it can save money, it can allow you, anyone, to share their expertise with people all over the world. And it's not just in a linear push form of a YouTube video or an online course. It's interactive, just like a live Zoom call would be. So that's the answer to your first question. Don't analyze my answer. Just go right into the next question for this mock interview.
Isn't it just a gimmick? All right, let's keep this rolling. Some people argue that digital clones could lead to a loss of genuine human interaction and authenticity. How do you respond to concerns that digital clones might make our communications feel less personal and more robotic?
So here's what I found so far. If someone can talk to my clone first, answer obvious questions that I answer all the time, they can know more about me, get more comfortable with me, have an increased sense of my expertise. It increases the chances that they'll actually want to talk to me live on a live Zoom call or meet with me or hire me. So ironically, I find that the more I use my clone, the more interactions I have with real people. Plus, there's the fact that when people find out you have your own clone, they want to come up to you and talk to you at networking events, dinner parties, other places, because people find it so fascinating. I mean, we've seen this with other technologies. The more people can connect through email, for example, and online video, the more people want to go to trade conventions and association meetings to meet with people face to face. So John Nesbitt, the futurist from Megatrends fame, used to have this expression. He said, when there's the more high tech there is, the more high touch. The more technology connects people, the more they want to touch you, shake hands, meet you in person. I think that applies to digital clones as well.
Absolutely. The fascination with digital clones can indeed drive more face-to-face interactions. When people see the innovative use of technology, it sparks curiosity and a desire for deeper, personal connections. It's like when email and video
Okay,
calls
TJ, I'm going to
became
interrupt
mainstream.
you here because this is not, you're not doing this part perfectly. I want you to be the tough journalist. Just ask questions. Don't start doing my part of selling clones. Ask the tough questions. Let's continue with the interview.
All right, Let's get right to it. Some critics argue that digital clones could lead to job losses in industries reliant on human interaction. How do you address concerns that your clone might be contributing to unemployment and economic instability?
So, yes to job loss, no to unemployment. When you look at the history of technology, yes, when you bring in a cotton gin, some people are unemployed. Every new technology changes the mix of what people are looking for when it comes to employment. I don't think there's anything different about this because when you look at technology, traditionally, specific jobs can disappear, but the overall demand in the economy goes up for more jobs. One specific example in 1960, there were 400,000 people, mostly women, who were employed as telephone operators. All of them lost their job because it became automated. But did we see massive unemployment in the early and mid 1960s? No, we saw the economy expanding and going up because those very same people found other jobs, quite often in offices and administrative positions. Does anyone really want to go back to the days when we had to have 400,000 telephone operators and a long distance phone call cost $10 and you could basically never call anyone who didn't live in your town? I don't think that's what most people want. So, yes, certain jobs will go down, but there will be overall increase in demand in other jobs and the economic pie will expand. That is my prediction for what happens.
Every new technology shifts the landscape, a historical pattern we've seen with technological advancements. The key is adaptability and continuous learning. As new technologies emerge, they create new industries and opportunities. For
Hey,
instance,
DJ,
the rise of
DJ, I have to go. I do have time for one more question.
absolutely fire away.
No, I meant for you to ask me a question.
What's your last question? Got it. Let's focus on enhancing your communication skills. Are there any particular aspects of public speaking or media interaction you'd like to improve?
So we can see right there, it's obviously not perfect because it didn't stick completely into the mock interview thing, but it did a pretty good job. Now, let's say I really got something out of that interview prep and I wanted to analyze myself. I could simply hit this button and do a replay and take a look at it because you always learn from things watching yourself, different from how it was in that moment. Now, in theory, I could, let's say I have colleagues or my PR team, I could have shared that and asked them for a critique as well. So that's another fast. And for some reason, if I wanted to share it with social media, TJ, I have to go. We're going to make this a big screen here. Let's just go ahead and go full screen. No, TJ, I have to go on CNBC tomorrow. They're doing other journalists or editors at CNBC. I'm going to fast forward through trying to take this
TBC interview, emphasize how this
simulation, a mock interview, is a little different. Let's see if it can do that. So, TJ, let's switch gears now. I'm interviewing me. I'm going to get to the point where there's a bigger or a fuller screen Zoom call or meet with me or hire me. So if I wanted to, if I were doing this for real and critiquing myself, I could see that the way I was up here in the left corner, let me go ahead and make this a fuller screen for us. I could see that my lighting is not nearly as good here as the clone. So if I were in fact getting ready to do an interview and I were going to be using the same camera, I could say, oh, I don't like that bright blue light being quite as dominant there. It seems like the lighting isn't quite right on my face. I would adjust it. So that's part of the beauty of having the video available to you instantly so that you can judge yourself. So it's another great tool to have that I think it makes the whole thing even more valuable. So obviously it's not perfect yet. It did not hold the role of being the talk show host interviewing me throughout. I had to give it a little nudge, but still a lot better than just giving answers. It's certainly 1,000 times better than practicing in front of a mirror or me having to ask questions of myself. So, this is the current state of video cloning at 1:47 p.m. on August 30th, 2024. And I have to tell you, I've never been this excited in my entire life about a communications technology, or frankly, any technology. It seems a little bit hype filled. I get it. But when I think of communication evolution and technology, one of the big things in my life, early 1980s, PowerPoint. I think this clone here is about 1 billion times more meaningful and powerful in a positive way than PowerPoint. I think it's more like Gutenberg's printing press as far as radically transforming the nature of communication in our world, arguably as much as the internet itself. Because again, what's so different about this is it opens up the world to one-on-one style conversations with top experts. Steve Jobs famously said more than 30 years ago that he had a big regret in his life, that he couldn't simply talk to Alexander the Great's tutor, Aristotle, the way Alexander the Great could. Aristotle was the tutor of Alexander the Great. And yes, we can read Aristotle's works. It's not the same thing as asking him a question. Well, these days, you can, in fact, talk to Aristotle in a conversational way because there are clones out there that have taken all of Aristotle's writings and put it into a database. And you can now have a conversation just like I did here. So this is something people have dreamed of for a long time, and people like Steve Jobs have wished for. It's now reality. And I know if you're watching this, you may be thinking, well, is this just a Mechanical Turk party trick? Is this just an image popping up and it's just pulling random stuff from the internet? So let me show you a little more in depth of what this is pulling from. I have built this database based on my own ideas, the books you see behind me. Currently, I have 12,371,384 words of words that have come out of my mouth or out of my fingertips. All I do is I hit add content, this button here, and then it allows me to upload files from my computer or from the internet. And I have only uploaded things that I've created, my own creations. So my own books, my own YouTube videos, videos from my own online courses. So I have at this point 15,000 files. Again, some audio, some video, some text that are uploaded into my brain. Some of them are just words on text. These you can see are YouTube videos. Every single day, my brain, my digital brain, gets a little smarter because every day it automatically sucks up more content from my YouTube channel. I typically post 3 new videos every day on my YouTube channel, 1 long and 2 short. They all are uploaded into this. It's converted into text, and that text can now be called upon anytime someone asks a question that relates to the content. So it can get better and better and better. It can get to be more like me. In some ways, it's better than I am. Because if you ask my clone to give a detail, well, rather than me say that, let's just do a test. And what's fascinating to me is the fact that my clone, it's not exactly the same as I am, obviously. You could say sometimes I'm better, the real TJ. Sometimes we're the same, but sometimes the clone is actually better in what it's able to deliver. So let me just give an example of this right now. There you can see I have memberships. So different people pay different thresholds based on how many minutes they want to consume or how much they use of it. But let's just give an example. we're going to go to the communication skills coach. And I think this will give you an example of something where the clone, because it has a perfect memory and I don't, gives a better answer. So we're going to go to the video one in just a moment. But here's the sometimes I'm asked, okay, TJ, who have given some of the best Academy Award acceptance speeches in the past? These are speeches that people look at, get a lot of attention, they get a lot of press coverage. I've in fact been asked to go on CNN, other media outlets critiquing celebrities' public speaking skills. So if someone asked me who are some of the best, some of the worst public speakers from Academy Awards, well, it's now been 6 months since the Academy Awards. I don't remember that much. If someone said, give me your top public speakers of all time from Academy Award speeches, I might say, well, Philip Seymour Hoffman seemed to give a good one. He thanked his mom. I remember Matthew McConaughey gave a very good acceptance speech a decade or so ago and seemed genuine and in the moment. I think Bill Murray gave a really good one. Some people have given bad ones. I don't remember the bad ones as much, but that's how I answer that question. Let's ask my clone that very same question and see what it can come up with.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you communicate more effectively?
TJ, I know you've been a student of great public speeches and bad ones. Tell me about the people, the celebrities who you think have given the best acceptance speeches at the Academy Awards, the Oscars. If you can think of any in particular, the year they gave them, and detail exactly what you liked about them, what they did well. But also if you remember any bad public speakers, bad acceptance speeches at the Oscars, the Academy Awards. Let's start with the good ones first.
Certainly. Reflecting on memorable acceptance speeches at the Academy Awards, Viola Davis in 2017 stands out as a prime example of excellence. Her speech was a masterclass in how to connect emotionally while being concise. She shared personal stories that resonated deeply, demonstrating the power of authenticity and vulnerability on stage. Her ability to weave narrative with gratitude.
Hey, TJ, I'm just curious, because I don't, do you remember what story she told on stage?
Viola Davis began her speech by referencing Harriet Tubman, highlighting the struggles and triumphs of women of color in the entertainment industry. She wove this historical context into her own journey, emphasizing the importance of opportunity and representation. This narrative structure, starting and ending with Tubman, made her speech both powerful and memorable. Thinking about your own communication, what elements do you find most challenging when crafting a speech or presentation?
Back to the celebrities. Who else do you remember as having given a great speech? Focus on just one. Tell me when it was and tell me every single detail you remember from the speech. Don't just speak in generalities like they told stories.
One of the most memorable speeches was Viola Davis's acceptance
hang on.
speech.
You already gave me that one. Give me another one, not just Viola Davis. Give me another one.
This approach not only captivates your audience, but also helps. All right, let's talk about another memorable speech. Philip Seymour Hoffman's acceptance speech when he won the Oscar for Best Actor in 26 was truly remarkable. He thanked his mother in a heartfelt and humorous way, blending personal touch with lightheartedness. This made his speech relatable and memorable. He didn't just list names, he shared a genuine moment that connected with the audience. What do you think makes a speech stand out to you personally?
Tell me anything else Philip Seymour Hoffman did in that speech that made it effective, because I saw it, but I don't remember anything other than what you've mentioned so far. So go deeper. Tell me everything he did well and be specific.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's speech was effective because he struck a perfect balance between humility and gratitude. He started by acknowledging his fellow nominees, showing respect and camaraderie. His heartfelt thanks to his mother was not just a mention, but a vivid, emotional tribute that painted a picture of his upbringing and the sacrifices she made. This personal touch made the audience connect with him on a deeper level. He also maintained a conversational tone, avoiding the trap of sounding rehearsed or overly formal. His pacing was deliberate, allowing each word to resonate. What do you think makes a speech stand out to you personally?
Okay. So let me be fair and be honest, because there were parts of that where there was a repetition that someone wouldn't really do in conversation. It brought up Viola Davis twice in a row. There were a couple of things where an expression just went like this that seemed a little off. So I'm not giving it perfect marks, but I have to tell you, overall, I thought it was fantastic. I'd completely forgotten Viola Davis's acceptance speech. And the way I say it brought it up, it all came back to me. Perfect recall, great detail, frankly, much more helpful than I would have been. The nuance that came out about Philip Seymour Hoffman's speech, I'd forgotten all that. Human beings forget things, and not just people of a certain age. All human beings forget things. Computers don't forget. So it can instantly pull up the data on that. I'm pretty sure I had specific YouTube videos the night of the Academy Awards. So that all was brought in fresh. It's still fresh for the database and my clone to access. So to me, certain things like that are a perfect example of how a digital clone is not a little bit worse than a real human. It's not the same as a human. It's actually better than a human. It gave more insight, more detail, and a richness to the answer that someone hearing it in conversation would think that is better. Now, obviously, some things don't look completely natural. For example, the clone, you don't see my hands moving the way I do here. And when people are comfortable and confident and relaxed, they move their hands. The reason you don't see that is in earlier versions of training the video for my clone, I did have my hands moving. But what happened was when my clone was listening to the user ask a question, the mouth wasn't moving, but you saw my hands moving. So I had feedback from users saying, TJ, that looks really weird. I'm talking to you, asking you a question, and your hands are moving. It's like you're doing sign language to someone else in the room, communicating something else. So that was weird. So that didn't work. Another version where my hands were perfectly stiff and didn't move at all just made my body look too frozen. So all you saw was the head, and the body was sort of stiff and frozen. So I had to go through various iterations of recording video of myself where I wanted my hands and body and arms to move, but I framed it, as you can see, with my hands not in the frame. But I wanted some subtle movement. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect yet. It is a work in progress. I did 4 or 5 different versions at different times over a week or so of my clone's video to train it. And I'll just show you where, in fact, that is in here so you can see it. When you're building your clone, again, this platform I'm using is Delphi.ai. And I hit build. Here's one of my original ones with a green screen was already deleted. So here's a version I did on the 8th. Here's the one I did on the 9th. Here's the one I did, I guess, 5 days later from one of the original ones on the 13th. Here's one, I'll just show it briefly with the hands moving. You won't see the oddity of it because you're not talking to it. So you can see it here a minute. It doesn't look bad from this
Your
perspective.
digital clone's video avatar is ready. Generate videos in the playground below or engage in real-time video calls from the clone profile page. We're excited to see how you use it. Your digital clone's
So that one specifically, I think looks okay there, but I'm doing the talking. So a little bit of hand motion is fine. But when we put that into the system and people made a call and they saw my hands moving while they were talking, it didn't work. Now, at some point, I would suspect the technology will get to the point where we can actually control the movement when the clone is listening and someone is speaking to it versus when it's talking. It's not there yet. Is it perfect? No. You can see some of the times when my clone is speaking, my head is moving, my body's moving, my face is moving in a way that seems more or less natural. If you had never talked to me before and you were looking at this on a smaller screen or a tablet or a phone, you might not even notice for a while that, hey, this isn't really a real person. This is a clone. You might. But it's certainly a lot better than anything I've seen in the past. To me, it's 1,000 times better than seeing a cartoon face or a generic face or someone stealing a celebrity deep fake. That is, I think, not really effective at all. So these are some of the states of what's going on in the clone. What I like about the particular interface I use is I can see the engagement. I won't pop it up now. I don't want to accidentally violate anyone's confidentiality because it will show people's faces when they made a video clone and their email address. But you get all sorts of insights. And the amazing thing to me has been sometimes there are literally thousands of conversations that show up in a day. Some people, they start talking and they just want to keep talking and asking for more and more insights and information from my clone. Now, again, it's not that I am the most interesting person to talk to in the entire world. Believe me, there's plenty of people who would argue that I'm not. It's the fact that it's interactive, it's engaging. That's what's drawing people in. And that is why I am so excited about the state of digital clones today, and specifically interactive ones. If you don't have one yet, and chances are you don't, because very few people do, you're going to want one in the future. Here's my prediction. Anybody, and I mean anybody in the world who in 2024 has a LinkedIn page, is going to have their own digital clone at some point. I'm not going to commit to it's in exactly 18 months or 18 years. I think it's probably going to be more than 18 months, but less than 18 years, where everyone will have a digital clone. And it'll just seem kind of odd not to. I mean, there was a time when if you told people you had a website, it was kind of weird. I got tjwalker.com in 1995, and that was sort of, whoa, aren't you fancy? It was sort of like, what are you, an egomaniac? Why would you do that? Well, these days, not having a website sort of arouses that same thing. Why would you not have a website? You're a freelancer, you're a consultant, you're a speaker, how could you, what do you mean you don't have a website? It strikes people as bizarre. I think we're going to get to that point when it comes to clones in the fairly near future, because it's just so much easier for people to communicate. Imagine you are a public speaker and right now someone goes to your LinkedIn page. Maybe they can figure it out from going down. Maybe you linked to a YouTube page and maybe they go to the YouTube page and maybe they can find a section where you show recent keynote speeches you've done, but then they've got to listen to someone introducing you or hear your introductory remarks. Imagine if you are someone in charge of finding a speaker for a conference for your industry in the next month and you're in a hurry. Wouldn't it be nice to go to that person's LinkedIn page, click a button and say, hey, TJ, I need a keynote speaker who can talk about the power of AI in a way that's really, really specific to small business owners in the self-storage industry. If you were to give a keynote speech to a group like that, what would you say? And for that meeting planner to then hear me and just say, hey, give me your best 60 seconds of what you would say. Imagine how much easier it would be for the meeting planner to see that clone just give its best stuff in 60 seconds and like it or not like it, and to be able to make a really sound judgment as to whether this would be a good person, or at least a person worth speaking to and taking the time to schedule a Zoom meeting. I think that would be extraordinarily powerful. Save time for everyone involved, because you don't want to have to spend an hour Zoom meeting with a meeting planner if it turns out it's a niche you have no interest in and don't want to talk to and not a part of what you do. But if it is a good fit, wouldn't it be nice for that meeting planner to get your best 60 seconds where you're speaking to them about their needs and to be able to personalize it right away? It may be that you have experience talking to the self-storage industry, and you talked to a regional group just last month, and here are questions that came up and how you were able to help them and why you think this is a hot button issue for them. And the meeting planner could instantly see how well you were able to personalize it for them. I think it could be utterly transformational. So part of the problem with these clones right now, frankly, is you start thinking about it and your mind starts spinning in so many directions of, wow, it could be really useful here. It could be useful here. This would be a good place. Just as an example, I'll share with you right now a few other uses I have based on what the technology does right now. So I'm going to go to my website that I use, where I bring people to find out more about my clones. So I have a link here to my communication skills coach clone, my life coach, the job interview one, the media training one, and the support and information. But I also have a daily blog about my clone and what goes on. So if I hit the blog, it's going to take me to an article that was written today, and it summarizes all the different things people asked my clone about today. And guess what? My clone wrote it. My clone actually wrote it and summarized it. So it's saving me time. Another purpose I have 250 courses, online courses, and many of them or I have that many just on the platform of Udemy. And I'll show you one thing without taking you and showing any private data, but I'll show you, for example, I have my courses and all of the content. And so with my courses, I have at least some of them with quizzes. Well, I did not have quizzes for a long time on my courses, but now I can simply, I'll just pull up one of the courses randomly, the communication skills course, and you'll be able to see I've added quizzes to my course. So here is perhaps one of my most popular and well-known courses. I'll show it to you in just a moment. This is my complete communication skills course. It didn't used to have any quizzes in it. Now it does. It's got 31 hours of content. Now, for me to have to come up with a dozen quizzes from a 31-hour course would mean, if I'm really going to do it well, I've got to go through and rewatch all 31 hours. I've got to think about it, write, rewrite, draft. Well, I had my clone actually write the quizzes for me. And then all I could do was a quick spot check to make sure it works. So now I've got a lot more content for my online courses, makes the courses more valuable, creates more time that people spend on it, which helps them, also helps me with the sort of the Spotify model of getting paid based on how many minutes people are in it. So there's many, many advantages. What I'm seeing with the clone now is I can send people directly to Delphi.ai. I have a website, or I have a page on the Delphi place. So they can go directly to my page on Delphi, which you see it right here. They can also go, thanks to the power of an embed, and I say that like I'm a techie and know what that really means. I don't really know what it means other than you stick a bunch of code here and put it on your own website. So here we are on my own website where people can, so I don't want to necessarily direct someone to other websites, so I can just put it on my own website. That's a part of it. But it gets even more interesting because now, let's face it, sometimes you're out and you might not be around a computer, or you might not want to pull your tablet out for something like this. There are other options. My clone has its own phone number, believe it or not. So I can just go to my phone app and I can just pull up, well, in this case, I'll just hit my contacts and I'll just put, TJ's clone. And I will just call my clone.
Disclaimer, this is a digital clone. Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you?
So I don't even have to use a computer. Hi, TJ's clone. I would like to know, what do you think are the best ethics regarding disclosure when people call your clone or they visit your clone in a video format on a website, and maybe they're confused at first, or maybe they actually think it's the real thing? What do you think are the best ethical principles?
Ethical transparency is crucial when using digital clones. The first step is clear disclosure. Whenever someone interacts with my clone, it starts by saying, "Hi, I'm TJ's clone." This ensures there's no confusion about whether they're speaking to...
Okay, so pretty good answer. Okay, some people don't like calling regular phone numbers, or you're in a different country, for example. There are other options. What my clone has right now is its own WhatsApp. So someone could be anywhere in the world, not want to incur any kind of phone charges. And again, all they have to do is call WhatsApp. So I'm just going to pull up my own digital clone right here in the WhatsApp. You can see I'm in the WhatsApp on my phone right now. So it's not the regular phone. And let me go to calls. Oh, that's not it's asking me to favorite. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. So I see my digital clone, and let me now go to it, and we'll see if it sounds the same. I mean, it should. It certainly should sound the same. It's just taking me a second to pull this up, but we'll get it here in just a moment. And we're going to go to chat. And for some reason, I don't know why it's not popping right up. Full disclosure, I normally wear glasses. I have contacts in now for distance, and it does make it a little harder for me to read. But I know it's here. Here we go, right here. So I could simply text. I could dictate a text to my clone and have it call me, or I can just call the clone as well. So let's go ahead and call the clone. Let's see, we can share it, we can search it. It's in my chat mode. And let's see, contact details. There we go. So I'm going to call my clone on WhatsApp, also available on Telegram. Okay, I've done something wrong, but I do use this fairly often for demonstration purposes. And I can say this is one of the functions that has worked well for a couple of months. So this gives you kind of an overview of where clones are right now in the world. If you have an interest in building your own clone, there are a lot of different companies out there now that do at least parts of it. There's some that will do just a piece of the video, some that will clone your voice, some that will clone your brain so it's text. You got to figure out what works for you. Everyone is a little bit different. I err on the side of why not make myself as available as possible in every format possible, as far as media platforms, WhatsApp, phone, internet, website, but also every format in terms of text, audio, and video. A lot of people are afraid of video. There are a lot of moving parts. I won't kid you. There are a lot of moving parts of this, but I figured it out, and I don't know a megabyte from a pixel, from a gigahertz, from a Python. I am not a technology wizard. If I can figure it out, you can too. So if you are a subject matter expert or an author, a trainer, a speaker, a product manager, someone who deals with customer service, or a founder, and you would like to be more efficient and enhance your productivity, it's only a matter of time before you have a clone. So you've got a choice. Do you wait until everyone else does it and you are a laggard? And are you going to be the last one to join Facebook or the last person to learn how to do texting? Or are you going to be one of the first? You've got to figure that out. I don't always like to be the first, but I certainly don't like to be the last. Now is the time if you want to be a part of the cutting edge, if you want to be an early adapter. So to help you, I have in fact created an online course. And it's called the Interactive AI Video Clone Creation, the Complete Course. It's available on Udemy. It's also soon going to be available on tjwalker.ai, as well as my other websites. So if you want to take it, it's normally $197. It's on sale today for $44.99. But you can go to Udemy and type in Interactive AI Video Clone Creation, the Complete Course. You can type in my name. You can find it as well. And this will walk you through. I'll just take a look and share the table of contents with you. But I cover a lot of different aspects here of why you should want it, how you can use it, how you can benefit from it. I'll just share briefly the promo video, and you can decide whether that seems of interest to you or not. But this is how I tried to set it. Imagine having a clone of yourself so that while you're sleeping or doing other things in meetings, your clone can have one-on-one personalized conversations with clients, customers, colleagues, prospects, anyone in the world, 24/7, and to do it in their language. Hi, I'm TJ Walker, and that is what this course is all about. And wait a minute, I had a brain freeze. Not sure I'm doing this the right way. In fact, I'm having an off day. If only I could have a clone deliver this promotional video for me. Well, let's see what we could do here. Here's the TJ clone. TJ clone, I want you to now give me a promotional video that can be used to get people excited about this course. Tell them the benefits of having their own digital clone, of learning how to use this technology to communicate with people all over the world at any time. TJ Clone, take it away. Imagine having a digital clone that can communicate on your behalf, boosting your productivity and extending your reach globally. This clone can handle client queries, provide training, and even deliver presentations, all while you focus on other critical tasks. Picture the freedom and efficiency this brings to your professional life. Sign up for our course now and unlock the full potential of your own digital clone. Don't miss out on this game-changing opportunity. Okay, TJ, pretty good job. And not perfect, but pretty good. If you're ready to figure out how you can get a clone to start working for you like this one, then go ahead, sign in now. Okay, so what is a digital clone? So that was a little weird. That was I guess a clone within a video within a clone within a video within a clone. So getting a bit meta there, but I hope you saw what I was trying to do there. And by the way, that particular promo video, I did it in one take, it just popped into my head. Is it the one I'm going to use forever? I don't know. It may strike people as cheesy or gimmicky. Feel free to give me some feedback if you want. But anyway, that's the state of where digital clones are, at least my clone, TJ Walker AI, right now in this moment of August 30th, 2024. At some point, people are going to look at this and laugh. They're going to say, wow, can you believe anyone would use something that backward, that awkward, that archaic? Now, whether that's is happening in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, or maybe next week, things advance that quickly, I don't know. But I could tell you right now, this to me is pretty good. It's very exciting to be a part of technology where I can communicate ways of helping people all of a sudden to the whole world. No more do people have to come to me on my terms or only speak to me in my language. They can speak to me in their language, and I can now bend to them. I can now communicate the way they want to, their language, any time of day or night. Someone might want to rehearse a speech or an interview, and it's 3 a.m. and I'm asleep. No one has to worry about waking me up anymore because the clones don't sleep. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every continent, every language. And that's why I'm so excited. Thanks so much. If you have any questions or comments, post them here. Thanks. Or better yet, ask my clone. I'll post a link to my clone in the description.